Today we're installing an Andersen A2 charger. Before we get cracking with that, we've got to just put a bond to the oil. Basically, it's PVC coated most of the way until it goes under a floor and it becomes bare copper again, so it's now connecting to true earth. So we're going to get cracking with the bond and then we'll come back and we'll do an unboxing of the Andersen. Okay guys, it's about 11:30. Apologies for the road noise. We are literally by a main road, but I'll try and talk you through as much as I can. So we've got the Andersen unpacked, ready to go. So we've got the main unit, which has rear entry, but also you can drill out and do bottom entry. So that is what we're doing in this case. Supply in, data point in for your CT clamp. And then we've got the charging cable output. What I really love about the Andersen charger is it's a tethered unit, but you wrap your cable inside it. Speaking of cables, we always opt for the 8.5 meter cable as opposed to the 5, just to be on the safe side. Costs a little bit more, but worth doing. Clients opted for the near black side finish, but the Cotswold oak front, which is actually made from Akoya, which is a sustainable wood. We have a CT clamp as well for the load monitoring. Cables in. So we've got our we got 6mm not armoured, but 6mm high tough EV Ultra. Bonding's done, that's in through. We've just put a new clamp onto the earth rod and tidied that up. Trunking is in, ready to go. So, well, yeah, it's all in, sealed, etc. We have our existing board, which we're not touching other than to alter the tails. Obviously we've got to fit our bond in for the oil pipe. Because we're in SSEN territory, we can pull the main fuse, so we'll put on the PPE and just disconnect that so we can put our Henley block in. We've opted for a Hager two-way rather, garage board with 40 amp RCBO, and that, what I like about these is no functional earth anymore. Well done, Hager. That's a brilliant thing. So yeah, Hager board will just sit underneath the main board. We've got, other than that, it's a pretty straightforward install now. Like I said, we had to put in the bond this morning. Yeah, put in the bond this morning, clip that up. Obviously tidy up the front a bit. And then yeah, we're literally just going to mount the charger on the wall here. And then we'll be good to go. I think we're something about there-ish. To make our lives easier now, we also use EV Comply, which I'm not going to bore you with all the details because Jordan from Artisan Electrics did a really good video on it. But simply put, it makes your life easier if you're doing EV chargers, whether it's with the OZEV grant or without it, because you still need to notify the DNO if you're installing a charger. But I can put a hot tub in all day long, every day, and that'd be running 24 hours a day. No, anyway. But EV Comply, you literally send it over to the client, they fill it out. The way we do it, we do either a remote survey, which we can then obviously quote from, basically from all the information they provide, or we can do a on-site survey, which is a chargeable facility. We then can obviously generate a quote for that, send it off to the client, they can then book an install, we can then book it on their behalf, etc. And it just makes life the whole lot simpler, because you get a pack at request that you can then send off to OZEV or the DNO. And it just, yeah, makes life a lot easier. So I'll put a link in the description and also probably somewhere in the title in the right, and we'll go from there. But now I'm literally going to fit this little bad boy in because I can hear the rain starting. It's a little bit further away, but it's feeling a bit like it's going to start raining. So we're going to put this on the wall, get some covers on, etc. And then, yeah, whip out the Q-Tech and start testing. Unfortunately, somebody borrowed my GoPro, so I don't actually have any of my usual bits and pieces. They've gone walkies, so there'll be no time lapse. So I'm literally just going to come back to you when we've got it on the wall and testing it. Right guys, we just had a bit of a disaster happen. The RCBO literally was doing its RCD test and went popped. Literally just went pop. So I haven't got another one on board, so I'm just waiting on the wholesaler to drop me one off. But yeah, So basically, we've kind of just left it like that. We've got to clean it all up. We're going to tidy this all up now that we can't do much else. CT clamps in, new tails, Henley block in, etc. So we'll clean up. We'll put the front on and everything. And then literally, thankfully, we did manage to do, we did obviously our ZE. We did our R1, R2, and we were literally, we got ZS as well. So a bit frustrating that it's kind of died, but we'll finish, we'll get everything else done while we wait for them, and then we can then actually test the charger itself. So I'll start putting all those bits on, and then we can actually hopefully finish off, because it's getting towards the end of the day now. So I'm going to crack on. What's up, guys? It's the new year. We obviously, the back end of last year we did an Andersen charger. Unfortunately, it got really dark quite quickly, so we couldn't really film much more, especially after the delay in getting the replacement RCBO. So what we're doing today is another EV charger. This time it's a Myenergi Zappi. Thankfully the client's already dug us a trench, so we've just got to lay our cable. They're going to backfill it and everything, so we'll leave them some electrical tape, or electrical, cable tape. We've got an MCG board that I tried to get an RCBO for, couldn't get one for love nor money, so we've opted for replacing the existing RCD with a Type A RCD, and adding in an MCB, which actually worked out more money than just putting in a RCBO, or changing the existing RCD to a main switch and then 2 RCBOs. Crazy. So let me give you a quick rundown, show you what we're working with. So this is our setup here. Charger is going to go on this wall here. We've got the Zappi, we've got the hub. Obviously, to comply with OZEV, we have to have the hub. But you can use a Zappi just without the hub if you just want a bog standard charger. We've got Doncaster EV Ultra cable. We've opted for the 6mm because, yes, only had, they had stock of the 6mm. But no stock of the 4mm, and if I wanted the 4mm I would have had to order a minimum of 25 meters. Well, we've only got a short run, so we literally obviously come down the wall low level and then into the trench, and then our board, because there's a main board which is full and a sub board which feeds the garage room, which is this armoured here. That basically goes to that actually goes to a garden room. So we've got a sub board behind that wall, and we're literally just going to go in there and wire up that way. So it's a relatively straightforward install. So yeah, I'm going to get cracking. We've got obviously Linear clips, we've got an SWA storm gland. So yeah, we're going to get measured up, mounted, and crack on. Right guys, let me give you a brief update of where we are. Zappi's in. Cable up to the new board, well, the subboard's in, so we just got to do some modifications to the subboard. So on all my Zappi installs, I'll pre-update them, and it literally is just a case of do a fly lead from the Zappi to a 13 amp socket, connect up the hub, do the firmware update on the hub, and then do the firmware update on the Zappi. So our cable comes in. We're literally about to terminate the power because we need to change that. As I said, I wanted to do a main switch and an MCB and then RCD, because obviously we've got RCBO, but I couldn't get in hold of our RCBOs, so we'll have to change that RCD to a Type A. It's currently an AC. Yes, I'm aware the Zappi has a built-in Type A anyway, but yeah, so we've spaced the board off the wall, because it was right up against it, and you literally have a 25 and a 35mm knockout either side, which was no good to me. So we've done that. We've got our obviously CT clamp there. If I show you, I'll take you outside. So cable comes in there. Literally for our installs we do 10 meters of cable, so we've pretty much used all of that. I'm going to need to kind of take it back through, so we've got a little bit of slack because there isn't any, but that's fine. I've put more in than I needed to, and then obviously we can just feed it back through. But yeah, it's going all right so far. got a few issues with the iPad not charging, which is a bit annoying. So I've had to actually order a replacement iPad charger, so a new 20-watt supply and whatnot. So because it's just sitting at 1%, will not charge at all, which is a bit frustrating. And I've also, what else? Because I don't know whether the chargers are putting out the right voltage, I've ordered some of the USB plug-in charger testers. So about time I got some, really. But yeah, that's where I'm going to just change this board, disconnect the power, make up this board, and then we'll be good to kind of test everything. But oh, I didn't show you the Zappi. So IR on the cable from this end before I connect it, done. So we've got our, this is what I like about the Zappis, everything is just, you've got so much space here, even when it's you know, when it is actually a tethered unit, it's so much space. You get these obviously push-in connectors for your CT clamps. Although we're not using 2 and 3, I'll always put those in. I've seen them without before, and you almost think, what were you thinking? Because obviously if somebody else needs to put a CT clamp in for, say, you know, solar panels or anything else like that, they can't. So yeah, I always stick them in. So yeah, getting there. Nice little install, really. So I'll see you in a little bit once we've finished getting the board updated. Right guys, this has actually been a real nightmare part of the job. The wall is just crumbles. You kind of just touch it and it falls apart. So it's taken us ages to get a secure fixings back into the board and everything. So, but because of the nature of this particular board, we've gone into a 407 whisker glands on the side, one with the flat entry, one with the mini cable entry, and obviously our CT clamp is tucked up there. So we've linked out here because I'm gonna go do my R1 R2 just at the Zappi. IR we've already done, and that on the, I use the Q-Tech KT 6060L, so that goes up to, it used to be 999. It's now on a 500 volt test, it's 1049. So that came back as fine, which I would expect being a brand new cable, but you know, it can happen where things go wrong. So I'm going to get it all tested out. My iPad has been on charge for at least an hour, hour and a half, and it's still on 1%. It just yeah, I'll be glad when yeah, bloody Apple products. To be fair, this is the first time it's let me down, but hey ho. So yeah, I'm going to get this connected up, finished, tested, and then that'll be that. Right, Zappi is powered up. So we've done our testing, and we've actually identified that there's an intermittent fault with the earthing within the property. We're getting excessively high readings 1 minute, and then we're getting, well, the best reading I've had is 2.32. It's a TNS supply, so obviously that likely means it's been converted to PME at some point. But it's that usual thing of somebody's used a bonding clamp to go onto the lead sheath. So they might change the head, I don't know, but they're on their way out to come and sort that. So we're literally just going to pack up, wait for them, because the client's not here, so we'll wait until they come, and we'll go from there. But guys, I'm going to leave you in peace for now. I might give you an update once I know what's going on with the SSEN. But... Right guys, update on the earthing situation. So what's happened, basically, the guy from SSEN's come out. He has confirmed that there is a high resistance on the lead. Line and neutral's fine, but on the lead he was getting 255, or I don't know if he meant 2.25 or but he said, yeah, 2.255. So what he's doing, he's, rather than obviously digging up and doing a new cable or anything like that, he's literally reclamping the lead, and he will run he'll connect the main earth to the neutral, and then also link in the lead sheath. So which is what he was a jointer for 22 years, he said, so that's what they do on the joints anyway. They just earth the lead, and then they connect the lead to the neutral, so it all ends up being the same thing. So converting it to a PME, but not with a PME head. So he's not changing the head, he's literally just reclamping the lead and then connecting it to the neutral. But yeah, other than that, it's all good. So we are done and dusted. Like I said, I'm going to leave you. Remember to like and subscribe. We'll catch you later.